Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, first things first, because I did the entire call this morning or this afternoon earlier today, and it did not go through. So the first thing that I want to know is that it is going through. And if you could, if one of you that's on the line, if you could please let me know in the chat box of the event on the Hangout page. It's like a Facebook comment. If you could just comment there that, hey, you see me, you hear me, everything's good, and then I can keep going. But if I don't, then I'm gonna trust. I see me on the Hangout page, and it seems like I'm there and it's going. So I'm going to trust that that's the right thing. I don't see anybody commenting yet. There were some of you that were commenting from before, earlier today, from the call not going through. But I'm going to trust right now that this is working and all for the highest good, right? So I'm very excited about this call. And I think especially following last week, because we went into a lot of the details as to how to create a marketing calendar that is engaging, that provides a lot of value, that is easy to put together, right? It's something that, you know, you can allow to happen and then schedule so that it creates ease. There's a level of being what's the word? Like being there all the time, right? Being present all the time and actually being visible all the time. So that consecutive type of energy, right? It's very, very important, especially with marketing, because you want your people, the people that are, you know, that you're meant to be serving, you want them to rely on you. You want them to count on you for the type of information that is going to give them the results that they're seeking, right? And you want them to count on you as the expert, right? And that is all what the marketing calendar is for. Now, if you're here and you're present and you signed up for this, and I know that you're very likely a woman business owner, most of the time online business owner, that you have been in business for less than 3 years and you're struggling to make your business as successful as you know that it can be, right? And you don't know why. You don't know why it's not happening. You don't know why it's not happening as quickly as you want it to happen. And you realize that you are working all of the time. It's something where it's taking over your life, right? And that's not the reason why you started your business. You started your business to create a lot of ease and flow, and you started your business to have more freedom. So whatever it was that you were before, if it was in another type of business that you didn't like, that wasn't fulfilling or you were in corporate or something like that, then you definitely wanted to create a different experience this time. And now you're finding that it's kind of heading in the same direction. Like, you're still not fulfilled. There's something where the energy exchange is not happening, right? Between your clients and the amount of work that you're putting out there and what you're receiving, right? So it's not working properly right now because you're giving out way too much and you're just not receiving back, right? And that is why I love the idea of the sequence, because the sequence, and especially very particularly sequencing sales, is all about automating your sales, right? The conversions that you have, and creating a beautiful journey for your ideal clients that they will be able to say yes to. Okay, so you take them through a journey, a different experience than what they have received from other people, that shows how working with you would be different. It would actually solve their problem. And it's also about streamlining and having your business work for you 24/7. So not just you working all the time. It's about your business, just structures and the systems that you have in place, continuously attracting your clients from all over the world. In fact, this afternoon, she couldn't be there now, but this afternoon, earlier when I had the call, my client Andrea was on the line, and she wanted to share a little bit more. I mean, we're not going to be able to hear from her today, but I attracted her. She lives in Switzerland. I have another client that's from Russia, and I've had clients in the UK and a lot from the US and Canada. And you can see that the barriers of time and time differences and continents even, it's just not there. You can actually attract people from all over the world. Even when you're sleeping, someone could be saying, yes, I'm ready to be working with you. If you have the right systems and structures in place, they could be buying your products right there while you're sleeping. And that, I feel, is it's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity. Obviously, not only for the level of support that you'll be receiving, energy exchange that you'll be receiving, meaning money, right? But also in the fact that you can be transforming people's lives even when you're not doing any of the work. And I feel like that's really, really amazing. And I know that from my perspective, that's one of the reasons why I became an entrepreneur. One of the reasons why I wanted to start helping people. I mean, I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was. I just knew that I wanted to help people and I wanted to live a different type of life. And now with the launch, you can have that. With the launch, you can actually start to experience that ease and flow that you thought was possible at the beginning, and then you have become slowly disillusioned as to whether this could happen or not. Or if you're starting out, like you're seeing and you're perhaps taking a bunch of courses, course after course after course, and you just don't know how to put it together in a sequence that creates a different type of experience for your ideal clients. So today, I'll be going over two of the most important pieces of the launch. So last week we went over the marketing calendar. Today we're going to go over two more pieces, right? And they kind of work together, that most women especially don't use. This is it's an essential part of business, and yet there's so few people actually using it. But before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit more about what is available to you when you have a powerful launch in place. A powerful, soulful launch that actually gives you the opportunity to have everything that you wanted. So what are some of those things that are available to you when you create a powerful launch, a successful launch, and you actually create a TFS launch? So automatically, and this is one of the main reasons why I'm telling you this, is because it's automatic, okay? I see so many women struggling because they're working so hard all the time, and it's just not necessary. Automatically, I'm telling you, automatically, 24/7, you could continue to grow your list, okay? There could be people coming from all over the world still signing up for your list. It could make you more visible and ask the authority in your field through your marketing. So that's something that just happens automatically as you start growing and you start expanding and you start marketing through a launch. You will see that even more opportunities show up for you. In fact, yesterday I got interviewed for a news, a magazine article. And it was the first time that happened to me, but it was something where the lady that was writing the article, she found me through my marketing, and it was seamless. It was just such a beautiful transaction. It was just, okay, well, hey, I am writing this article. I found you online. I know that you do this, this, and this. Can I interview you? Yes, of course you can interview me. That opens a whole new array, not only in terms of the amount of clients that you can receive, but also in terms of the more opportunities that opens for you, and credibility, right? Because as you're cited as an expert in your field, right, the more people, more ideal clients will be considering you an expert in that particular field. All right. Launches also give value to your ideal clients, and it takes them through an engaging sequence that naturally leads to a yes. So no more pushing or pulling or forcing anyone to buy from you or feel like you're forcing someone, because it's not even about the forcing. Like, you may not even think that you your ideal client may not even think that you are, but you feel it, right? So how about creating a sequence, like sequencing sales, right, that actually leads them to a yes? You give them so much value and so much just like the journey, like the experience is so unique and so beautiful that they can't help but say yes to you. It also creates consistent income and clients, even when you're sleeping. So I like saying that because I feel like it's really true. You can have, I feel like the best way to create consistent income is by having a launch that works, and a launch that works really well. The sky's the limit with it, because you can take it as far as you want to. The reach, the amount of people that you're reaching can increase and increase and increase, and that means that the possibility for more income is there within the same launch. It's just about modifying it and continue to improve it launch after launch, to make sure that you're including the pieces that need to be there, and that you continue to, tweak and tweak and tweak the marketing to make sure that it's still addressing and talking to your ideal client, right? And finally, it also allows you to have time freedom. Freedom, the type of freedom that you thought about and that you wanted when you started to, when you became an entrepreneur. And that, I feel, is the reason why we became an entrepreneur. At least for my experience, I can tell you a little bit about my journey. When I started up, I was working in a corporate office and for attorneys, actually. I still joke about that sometimes because it was as far away from where I am right now as I feel it could go. I'm sure that it could go further, but it was pretty far away. And I worked in an office where it was just such a low vibration, and it was so much stress, and everybody was just trying to look out for themselves and trying to screw people over. And it was just like such a bad place to be. And I felt like my soul, like a part of me inside, was just dying, not only like becoming less, but dying for more, right? More growth, more experiences, more, like, I was spending hours and hours and hours of my precious time giving it, like literally giving it away to something that wasn't creating any type of change. It wasn't helping anybody. It wasn't really doing anything for anyone. Anybody could have done the job. And I feel that it was just so like depreciating of my skills, like the things that I could actually do. And the funny thing, which I feel is not even that funny, is the fact that when I started my business and up to 1 year after, I was exactly in the same place as I was in corporate. So it was devastating because, okay, so I was working from home, and okay, I had some clients and I loved working with them, but I was giving out too much of my energy. And I wasn't seeing the results. I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted. I was still struggling. The clients were very inconsistent, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working when I was applying all of the things that I had learned in B-School and this and that, and like all these different courses that I took, and it wasn't working. And it was just devastating because I knew that there was more available. So I want to ask you, because I know in the place where I was, I know how I was feeling, and I know how I was thinking specifically about my business. Like, how can I make it work better? How can I make it lead to more clients, lead to more possibilities and opportunities, and how can I make better connections with people? And all of that stuff was just not working. And I want to know how many of you actually feel like your marketing is just not working as well as it could to attract your high-paying leads, like your high-paying clients. And think about it, like really think about it. Do you feel like your marketing is designed to attract those high-paying clients? And how many of you would like to find out how to cut the time that it takes you to sequence your sales in half? Right? So that it's not so much of a struggle and a constant, working, and then it not working, right? So it's a little bit like, okay, I'm working all the time, but yet it's still not working. And how can I make it work better? All right. So I found that there were 3 things that needed to be in place. 3 very, very, very essential pieces, and they're a little bit general, but I'm sure that you can identify with them. They were the systems and structures that needed to be set up so that everything runs automatically, because that means that you have then that structure to be working for you 24/7, right? And supporting you in making the sales and finishing the transactions and bringing in the leads and all of that stuff. All of that stuff needs to be in place, especially when you're seeking to create a bigger business, right? Not just like a small type of business. You want something bigger, right? And you also have to have the mindset of a woman that's making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Like, there is such a thing as the mindset of that woman. What does she need to believe? What does she need to think that is available for her? Okay, what does she need to think that is necessary for her to do? What are her habits, right? How does she view her life? How does she view opportunities? How does she view possibility, right? How does she view money? How does she think about it? And how does she think about, like things like attachment and becoming more of that woman, right? There are beliefs that we have about all of that, and there are stories that we have about all of that. And I feel that if you don't have that mindset in place, it really blocks you from receiving the abundance that you are available for and that is possible for you right now. Okay, and the last piece is the lifestyle. So your lifestyle is, it's in support of your business, and your business is in support of your lifestyle. And if your lifestyle, and I feel like it happens a little bit like, maybe you wanted the lifestyle and you were working towards the lifestyle, and then all of a sudden you ended up, getting rid of a little bit of sleep, or giving up sleep so that you can finish something, and then you gave up a little bit more, like eating healthier because you were on the run, and then you gave up this and you gave up that, and then a year later you're in a place where you didn't want to be, and you thought, oh my God, my business, living a business of the way that I thought it would be, was completely different. And yet here I am, I'm not even sleeping, I'm not eating and thinking and feeling the way that I want to feel. And I have to do something about this. I feel that the best way that I have found to make sure that all of those 3 things go and start working together is by creating space. And the space is created within the structure, right? So if you have the structure that supports you, that frees up at least half of the amount of time that it takes you now. Don't think about the future. Don't think about yesterday. Think about today, right? Think about now. How long is it taking you to put a launch together? Have you even launched? Or how long is it taking you to even create your marketing calendar? We talked about reducing the amount of time that your marketing calendar takes last week, but that's just one piece of the sequence, right? That's one piece of the launch. So thinking about your entire sequence, how would it feel like to have such an amazing, robust sequence that really works for you, and yet it's taking you about half the time? Okay, so I want you to start thinking about that, because that is what is going to allow you to open up to a bigger possibility there in your business, right? Until you create the structure and the sequence that will support you and will start automating some of those structures for you, then you're going to be stuck in the same place. And it's really hard to start believing that more is available for you, like the mindset piece, when the proof is coming at you like, this is not working, this is not working, this is not working, right? And it's not even about the money, but just like your own self-esteem and the confidence that you have to make it work will take a hit as well. And believe me, I have been there every step from, not making absolutely anything and having a launch completely fail to making a really good amount of money within my launch. So that said, I want to step into some of the teachings today, just so that I can give you a little bit of what you are looking for here. And within the launch sequence, there's a lot of different pieces, but this is one that I feel is really, really, really supportive. And obviously that's testing and research. So let's see how we can use testing and research to improve your launches, to improve your marketing right now. And so that you can start seeing the results happening already, right? So from right now, if you start implementing these things, you will start seeing that people will be more engaged with your content. You will start seeing that right away more people want to start signing up. You will start getting people contacting you. Like, I get contacted all the time via messages. Hey, can you help me with this? I hear that you're good at this and that, or whatever. And people will start identifying you because you're going to be so targeted. They're going to start identifying you as the authority in that particular niche. And that will really support you in becoming known within your circles as the go-to person for to solve that particular problem. And that really helps in a lot of ways, okay? So the third thing that I wanted to talk about today, so the third teaching point, I guess you could call it, that I want to share with you is why you should never, ever, and I'm going to emphasize that, create a program before you have tested, researched, and sold it through your launch sequence. So this is one. I have a lot of women come to me for launches, and when they come to me the first time, they are, really excited, and they're like, oh my God, I'm creating my program and I want to launch it, right? The first thing that I say, even if it's within the discovery session, is do not create your program before you have sold it to someone, because you may be wasting a lot of time. Now, creating a program takes hundreds of hours to put together. I know because I did it. I actually made that mistake myself. I created an e-course, the first e-course that I created a long time ago. I feel it was like about 2 years ago or something like that. It was a long, long time ago. And I put everything together. In fact, I was following all of the instructions that my coach was telling me, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna work great. And I put it all together, and I finished the program, and then I went to sell it, and nobody wanted to buy it. Yes, it happens, and if you've been in that situation, you understand how that feels to have spent so much time. It really set me back, I would say about 5 months or so, because I did two things. I created the program, which took about a couple of months or 3 months or something like that. And then I created a launch, which I think it was like 3 in those months, or it ended up being like around 5 months. And the launch, because I wasn't really hearing, like I didn't do the research first to see what do my ideal clients want, like who can I be contacting and finding out, like, that they're part of my niche. What do they need? Like, what kind of language do they speak? What are the messages? What are the things that they say that they're wanting, right? I didn't do any of that research first, and then I didn't, I didn't use the information that I already had. I was just going by what my coach was telling me. And you can't just go by that. Like, I tell my clients, don't just go by me. Like, don't go by my words. You do not want to take my word for it. I don't want to, first of all, I don't think that's good business at all. I want to empower you to make really good business decisions, right? And the best business decision that I could ever give you is to do the research and then put a simple launch together that will sell the program and see how many people buy it. Okay, if you get enough buyers, then you can actually move ahead and then continue with the program. And then every launch after that, and you continue to improve it, you continue to improve it, you continue to improve it. But you do not create the program ahead of time. You will be saving a lot of time, money, energy, and patience and sanity, really, at this point, that if you do it the other way. So it's a little bit backwards. It may feel a little bit backwards, and you may feel like, well, I haven't even created it. How would I sell it? You create the outline. Yeah, okay, you can create the outline. You can create like the results that people get from it, and then you sell that. And then from there, you can actually create the content as you go along within the program. That is definitely the best way to do it. So that said, I just want to go over a little bit this section. So the first thing is, do your research before. Okay, the best way that I found is to put it together, to put a quick launch together and test it for sales. To test how many people are going to buy, right? And then once you have the results from that, then and you actually have sales coming in, then you create the program. And that really works wonderfully. Okay, so the teaching point number 2 here is why creating a marketing calendar is useless without creating a targeted message. Okay, so we talked last week about the marketing calendar, and I showed you, I gave you some really awesome tips as to, how to receive inspiration and how to actually start creating a list of like different topics and what are some of the types of posts that you can start creating. I focus on Facebook, and I do post to Twitter and Instagram and YouTube as well. However, my focus is on Facebook. So, creating Facebook posts and the type of content that's the most engaging. So all of those things I shared with you last week. And that is really, really essential to creating marketing. However, you could have all of that and create the best marketing calendar, as in all organized and structured and really awesome content. But if you don't know who you're talking to and you don't know what the niche is, so what the specific problem is, and who is it that has that problem, so that particular person that you're speaking to, it will go on deaf ears. So if some of your content right now, if you're writing marketing and you're seeing that nobody's really engaging with it, that people are just not connecting with it, they're not seeing, they're not, asking questions about it, and they're not liking it, or they're not really signing up. So say that you had a call recently and people did not sign up for it, that there was like almost nobody that signed up, or people are just not relating, like they're not understanding what it is that you're talking about because you're not being specific enough. Okay, so one of the most important things is to get really, really specific. The message has to be targeted. And how do you know, how can you use this, and how can you use testing and research to help you here in creating your marketing calendar? So I love this because this is such an easy way of working. It's finding ease within the launch, right? One of the things that I've done, and I continue to teach my clients, is why don't you go back and check what has given you results already? So I'm sure that if you've posted things, there has been some engagement on something. something of yours created a lot of buzz, was shared by others, was commented on a lot, and people were just like, yes, yes, I want to know more, and I want to know more, right? At least something of yours, right? So I would start there. I would start there. And if those people are your ideal clients, then I would start there. Otherwise, what you have to do is what most of us have to do is to research, to find out, okay, so who are my ideal clients? And then start from a place of where, what is the message? What are their problems? And how can I actually talk about their problems in a way that they will want to find out more from me as to what the solution needs to be? So, I mean, I help my clients within TFS, and man, I really ashamed that Andrea couldn't be on now, because in the morning she was talking about how the most valuable thing for her was the fact that I am able to support her in creating clarity around those things. So getting as close to the niche, as close to the problem as possible, clearing up her messaging, and then from that space, then she gets to test. So it's not even like I'm giving you the answers and then that's gonna work. No, I'm not your ideal client. I don't have the language for them. So I can get really close because I'm very familiar with marketing and I know what works and what doesn't, and I've seen it from a lot of people and my clients as well. However, there's more to it than that. You have to target it very specific, and that you can only know by doing the tests, right? So you can do, actually, very recently, I actually did a test for something particular having to do with my messaging, and even I still do it for my niche, because I want to get as specific as possible. And there were a lot of people that answered my surveys. So you can actually do surveys in groups where your ideal client is, or you can actually call them up if you have their number and find out from them, hey, can I borrow a few minutes of your time, and can I just ask you a few questions? And within those questions, all you need to do is just find out what are their pain points and what is it that they're interested in finding out more. So if you can tell them something like, hey, if I gave you this, this, or this, or this, what would be the most interesting thing to you? So to recap for this, because I feel like I already gave you a lot of information here. The first thing is, go back to what you already have. Even you can even go back to things like free gifts or opt-in pages that you have created, and try to see what has the highest conversion. So what are the things that you've already created that were popular? Have you given things out? Have you shared things with different communities, and what has resonated and what hasn't? That's always a good place to start, especially if the people that you were sharing it with, obviously, because that's the only way that it will work, were similar to who you think your ideal client is, right? And there's some people that, like Andrea, for example, who was on the call earlier today, she was like, her niche was moms, and I'm like, that's not specific enough. It's not specific enough because it could be anybody. So you need to get even more specific. And she got even closer, and I feel like right now, I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty certain that she's working more with entrepreneurial moms. And those moms, as compared to other types of moms, they have very particular problems, okay? Their problems are very singular, and she can address those now because she can now speak to them specifically. Like, the message that she can use with an entrepreneurial mom, right, is completely different than someone that's in corporate. They have different problems, right? So maybe the mom at home is more about, you know, finding more time and hiring a babysitter, right, as compared to the mom that works from home. Like, she'll need, I don't know what she'll need. Like, I don't want to go on the fly here. However, like, you can see that that woman and that other woman, they have two different worlds. They have two different problems, right? So you can't really talk to both of them the same exact way. So you're able to really, by going back and start at least targeting some leads as to who your ideal clients could be and what the problems could be, right? So that's always very exciting. And when I do that type of exercise with my clients, like, it almost opens them up to a whole world of possibilities. And they can see, like, once you actually get so targeted that it's so specific and you feel how powerful that is, how powerful it is to be speaking to one specific person. Because the biggest problem here is the fact that when you're speaking to everyone, really, you're speaking to no one. So you want to do that research and testing just to make sure that that the messaging is going to be really, really targeted. Okay. So the last thing here that I wanted to talk about, which is a teaching point number 1, is what are the 3 most important pieces in a launch that you should be testing to get your highest conversions. So there's 3 pieces within the launch sequence that is really important, and they're the ones that I actually teach at TFS. So there's a lot of small pieces within TFS, and they all work. I mean, when I do TFS, I teach you the step-by-step. And I give you templates and all that stuff. So it's very easy to put together. But there's three small pieces, or very key pieces, I should say. I don't want to say small because they're important, right? And the first one is the sales, the second one is the web pages, and the third one is the marketing calendar. And these are the 3 places where I like my my clients to start testing and doing testing, so that they can see how to improve it and how to improve it and how to improve it. Number 1 is hands down sales, right? Sales needs to be improved constantly until you master sales and you're doing at least 90% conversion. Then you know very well that there's still room for more improvement. So I teach them exactly how to test and improve, continue to improve every time that they have a sales conversation. Plus, I also teach them how to have the sales conversation within a specific structure that I like following, that I feel is the best way of creating a beautiful experience within the conversation, because you want that to be a discovery to see whether the person is the right client for you and you are the right service provider for them, right? I didn't want to say coach because not all of us are coaches, right? So the sales piece is essential. So even within a business where you're not doing one-on-one type of sales, the experience of the sale changes. So how do you conduct your sales transactions? Do you have a page where they go and they sign up? Okay, do they receive an automatic email afterwards? There are little key pieces that you can actually add to the sales process that will improve the experience that they have with you. From the sales conversation, or the first step where they're actually deciding whether they want to say yes or no, to the end when they actually do say yes, and then they receive whatever your welcome materials are, if you have welcome materials for your type of service. So that is very important, and every single one of those pieces can be improved upon if you feel that it needs improving and your clients are giving you feedback that that's the case, okay? The second thing is web pages. So what do I mean by web pages? By that, I mean the conversion pages. So like the opt-in pages, like lead pages. I use lead pages and I teach lead pages with my clients for TFS because I find it so easy to put together. You can do it yourself, and you can have your VA do it, and it takes less than 30 minutes each page. It's really wonderful. Plus, once you have a setup and all the structures are set up for one type of page, all you need to do is just change a few things, and every time that you recreate the page, it takes like 10 minutes, really. It's so beautiful and simple. So with the pages, the main thing that you're looking for is the conversion, right? So what what's converting, what's not converting. And then if the things are less than a certain percent, and I teach you what percent is really good starting out, and how to do all of that stuff, because it can't be really, you can't, like, I don't want you to get into a headspace, but I want you to start thinking about, especially sales, like how can you improve it, right? So instead of thinking about, oh, how am I going to do, like, you know, testing and research on sales, it's like, how can I improve this, right? With the web pages is sometimes it's the colors, sometimes it's the fonts, sometimes it's this or that. And all of those pieces have to do with the improvement. However, at the very beginning, the thing that you want to focus on is just the copy. Like, is the copy converting or not? If you're getting less than 20%, for the most part, 20% is like really low in the conversion for opt-ins, then you want to definitely look at changing the words. Like, the words are probably not hitting pain point for them, and they're not hitting what is possible within that experience. So you want to definitely improve that. And there are things that you can do to start changing that. And I teach you exactly how you can do it and what you need to focus on even within the web pages, right? And the last thing is the marketing calendar. So this is what gets me really excited. I don't know about you, but I like being organized, and I like understanding what goes where. And I have created for TFS an amazing, amazing template where you actually get to test every single piece of your marketing calendar. So whether it's emails or posts or videos or whatever type of content it is, you can actually test to see what the conversion is. And then at the end of the month, you get to choose what's going to go into the next launch and what isn't. Right? The things that have the highest conversion, you can then analyze and start seeing, okay, well, this had a really amazing conversion. How can I move it into, how can you recreate it or move it into the next launch, right? So that you can continue to improve and improve and improve the launch. Understand that every test and test that you do in your business is to continue to improve it. So improve, improve, improve. And the launch, it makes it so easy. Because the way that I created, at least TFS launch, it's amazing. The fact that you can actually have a launch done within a month period of time, you have so much awesome information. And then for the next month, you can actually improve it. And every improvement, every time that you actually make it better, you will see it in your conversions, right? In the amount of people that sign up for you and the amount of sales that you make. And that, I feel, is wonderful because you have full control of that. And I mean, I feel like that's one of the reasons why we also got in business. We got it so that we had control of our destinies. And I had one of my clients very recently told me, I wanted to have full control of how much money I make. And I didn't want it to be dictated by anybody else. So that is available with a launch sequence that works. So I feel like that, and that's it in terms of the content. And I feel like this is amazing. If you have any questions about this, actually, before, because I did you know, I didn't check last time and I didn't realize that this wasn't working. So I want to make sure that I answer any questions. If you do have any questions at all, then you can just put it on the event page, or you can put it on, let me see, where is it? You can put it on the event page, or you can also put it on the Hangout page, right? So, and that's going to be really wonderful because it will allow me to answer that for you. And if you have anything, obviously, I want to be able to answer that for you. Okay, so that's it. I don't see any questions as of now, so I think we're good to go. So I want to just tell you a little bit about what I feel is the biggest challenge in doing testing and research, putting your marketing calendar together, or for that matter, sequencing sales, right? So creating your entire launch sequence. And I feel that that is that you can know how to create it, so you can have an idea how to do it, right? But you won't really know how to put it in a sequence, and you won't know if that product does speak to an ideal client, and you won't know if the ideal client will resonate with it. And then if it doesn't, then all of it is really a moot point. So testing and research really helps to save you a lot of time and money. And it can save you years if you're doing it correctly. If I would have known this about 3 years ago when I started, I would have skyrocketed to the top, because it's such an easy system. And it's a system that really makes it simple, not only to implement and to put together, right? Because I do give the samples and templates and all that good stuff, but because it works, and it actually increases the level of visibility and the amount of people that come from all ends of the spectrum of where it is that you're directing your marketing material is mind-boggling. I'm telling you. Like, even with that lady that just interviewed me for the magazine article, I just I don't know where she found me. I know that she found me through my marketing, and I know that I wasn't receiving any of those opportunities before when I wasn't doing this type of thing. And it's not just her. Like, I've been invited to a bunch of telesummits and all of that stuff, and those are just perks of the, like, I really honestly feel that those are just the perks. There is so much more available when you're actually putting together the sequence. It's just really, really awesome. However, I do know that this can get a little bit confusing, and it's like, okay, well, I know about testing and research, but how do I really do it? Or how do I really put the marketing calendar? How does that work within the launch sequence? And that is the part that I was just trying to say. That is the part that can be a bit daunting, because the journey, like how, when do you post on Facebook? When do you send an email? Like, how many times do you send emails? And what type of emails do you need to send? And like, all of those things can just be a little bit overwhelming. And when you're doing programs like B-School and things like that, where they don't really show you how to put together a sequence, you can have a lot of information and a lot of really wonderful, awesome information, because I know B-School teaches a lot of really amazing things. And I'm mentioning B-School because I've done it, and I know a lot of my clients have done it as well, and they just still didn't get what they needed out of it. And I'm not bashing it. I know that the information that they're giving out there is absolutely wonderful. However, how do you put it into a system that works, repeatedly without you having to recreate it every single time? And how does it work automatically, right? How do I make it work for me all the time? Right? There could be like a million questions going through your head as to how to do all of that stuff, and you won't know. You won't know, because all of those are valid questions, but there's just no answer. Like, in a lot of those programs and the way that we've been taught, we just don't know how to do it, how to put the actual launch together. And I feel like that's the piece, one of the pieces is really, really missing. So because I've shared so much already, I just want to step into telling you a little bit more about TFS so that you can see whether this might be your next step or not. I call it time freedom sequence because that is exactly what it does when you put it together. I myself had created so much time freedom that it's really amazing. I mean, a few months ago, I came back from Thailand. I've gone to Hawaii, and this Saturday, I'm actually going to visit my family in Florida, and I'm staying there for a few weeks. And it feels really amazing that I have the ability to do that. And it's not just I'm doing that, I'm traveling, and then I'm taking my business with me, but I also have a lot of time off. When I go away, I give myself a lot of time off. And I feel like that's something that when you're in the struggle of the every day with a never-ending to-do list, you're just not able to do. So with that time freedom, I actually started focusing my energy, not only on doing the things that I really wanted to do, but also on the pieces and the areas of my business that really required my personal attention. In TFS, I tell you which are those things. So you don't have to be guessing. You don't have to be thinking, oh, well, I need to, should I be doing this, or should I be giving this to one of my VAs, or do I even need to get a VA? Well, I actually I just finished my POP Mastermind today. It's a group program, mastermind program that I had going on for the last 6 months. And my clients, one of them, she asked this particular question today. Hey, how do I know when it's my time to hire someone? And how do I know that I'm giving them the right thing? Well, with TFS, you don't have to guess. I tell you exactly which are the things that you need to be doing and which are the things that your VA needs to be doing, so that you open up and create a lot more energy. I mean, there's so much that you can do in your business, and wouldn't it be better if a lot of it could be automated and then the rest of it could be given out to someone else so that they could be doing it, so that you don't have to worry and you know that things are taken care of? Like, I know I would, and I do. It's the only way that you know that you will have the space to be able to grow to the level that you want to grow. Because it's just not possible to start and to grow at that level. So say that you want to start making like $10,000 a month and beyond, because there's a lot of people, you could make a lot more than that, even with a TFS sequence. And you can't do it by yourself. It's just not possible. So even with all the systems and structures, right, you still need some support. And being able to delegate and give out will open you up for that. It will create the space and the time for you, and the patience, the shift energetically. I feel like it's almost like I'm here and I want to get here, and I need to sort of transform into the woman that's here in order for me to do that. And that part of it is having all of these structures in place, right? And the people to support you. And this program does that for you. So if you're making about $2,000 a month now or something like that, where it feels very limited and very small amount, then with TFS, you can increase that amount, and you can increase it right away. It's within 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and you could be creating a completely different life, and you could be in a completely different place. Plus, I feel like the coolest thing, which I already told you is the biggest perk, is the fact that you get to increase your visibility. And all of these different opportunities from all over the place are going to start showing up, because you will become the known expert in that field. And I know I am having those opportunities come to my door. I don't have to even go looking for it. I feel like that's the coolest thing ever. I don't have to. It's all just coming to me. And I feel like that's really, really, really awesome. So the biggest thing I feel with TFS, and I just want to make it quick because I want to make sure that I finish by the hour, is that I have saved, and my clients repeatedly save, at least half of the amount of time that that is taking them to launch right now. Okay? They are saving so much time. They are actually creating the lifestyle that they want. Okay? And they are not having to work harder. They are not having to do more, okay? They're actually having the systems and structures work for them, okay? So if you're interested in doing a launch, right? I've already told you so much within this call. What are the benefits of it, right? The consistency, the amount of time freedom that you're gonna have, getting the clients faster, stop stressing, stop overworking, creating a lifestyle, becoming more of the woman that you know that you're here to become. So grow more into her, grow more into that woman that you always wanted to be, right? That you weren't able to, and you haven't been able to become yet. And that is available when you create the space for it, right? So if you're interested in doing a launch, or if you haven't done it yet, or this would be your first launch and you don't know whether you're ready, like, am I ready to do a launch yet? Like, is it really my time? Or you've done it already and yet you haven't, you didn't have a really good experience. You had a horrible experience where it pretty much sucked up. And I'm laughing because this happened to me, okay, with that with that launch that I told you guys about my first e-course, where I just spent all of my time and I left completely depleted, and I didn't get a single sign up from that. It was so bad, horrible experience. And if you've gone through that, you know that you swore that that would never happen to you again. So now it's about finding the actual system that will work for you. So what I want to do for you is help you find out what is the next step. Okay, so if you have done it, and I want to help you find a way to make it go more smoothly, and I want to help you find out what your next steps. So if you don't know whether you're ready, you'll find out whether you're ready. And if you are interested in doing a launch now, then what are your next steps? So no matter where you are in your business, okay? And there are custom options available. So what I want to do is offer you a call to help you figure out about your launch, your particular launch. So not my launch or someone else's launch, your launch. What is it that you need to make it successful? And if you sign up, there's a little bonus that I want to give you, because I reward people that are really clear about what they want, and they know it, they hear it, they know it when they hear it, and they're just very sure of themselves and they're sure about what they need, right? If I have highlighted that for you within this call, then I want to give you access to my prep module for TFS. So you're going to get the same materials that my clients get to prep for their launch. And you can use this, like after we have the call, you'll get the information for how to access that materials, and you can have that for yourself. So whether you use it for TFS launch or whether you actually use it for your own launch outside of TFS, it really doesn't matter. I just want to support you and make it easy for you to conduct your first successful launch, right? That's what it's all about. So I told you guys at the beginning that I identified the 3 biggest reasons or obstacles, really, because that's what they are, that keep women entrepreneurs not living the life that they want. And those were the systems and structures, right? Like, so they don't have the time and space to live the life that they want. And that really, all that means is TFS, really. Like, they don't have a launch system. They don't have a business system. TFS really does help the entire business. So the business is working through TFS, right? It's your entire business, and it's all about making it easier on yourself and sequencing the sales, right? So there's that. Then there is the mindset, right? If you don't believe in your success, then that's not going to happen, right? And a lot of women get stuck in this particular piece because in order to have success, they need to believe in success. And the last piece is the lifestyle. So a lot of women get stuck in the doing, and they're sacrificing the pieces of the lifestyle that are just so essential to their success, so essential to keeping the vibration high, to presenting themselves as the expert, and to actually show up confidently. Because I feel that without the lifestyle, it's really difficult. Like, I don't know if you've noticed those women that are, they have that energy of like they're going, and they're always on the run. And it's almost like there's something missing there to really like help them feel whole. And I mean, I've felt those women, and I know because I've also been those women. So it's really easy for me to identify it. And I feel like once you have the lifestyle piece, it really does support you. So, and I don't mean that it's all rose-colored and that you don't have to do work. So, because you do. I mean, TFS requires work, right? It requires putting it together, and it requires the 6 weeks to actually focus on it. It doesn't take that much time, and it's easy to put together because you have all the systems and all that stuff. Everything is pre-done for you pretty much. All you have to do is just put your message and your language in it, right? And I support you in doing that. But I do mean that how you work changes everything. And when you start working through TFS, there's a shift. There's a shift from this woman over here to this woman over here. And you can feel it. You're going to start feeling it when you feel that all of those systems and structures are really supporting you. You don't have to put the time in it. It's already working for you. Okay? So I am giving you an opportunity to get the support that will create the life that you have been wanting forever. Okay? By joining TFS. And I also, if you join TFS within the next week or so, about until next Wednesday, I'm going to give you my time and money program. It's the time mindset of a woman, time and money mindset of a woman that makes a consistent $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Believe me, there's a time mindset and a money mindset of that woman, right? She believes certain things about time. She believes certain things about money. Those things really, really support her. And that is actually the same exact content that the women from my Pop Mastermind that just finished today, that they went through, and they achieved really amazing results. The one lady, she lives here very close to me in Jersey City, and she has increased the amount in her business. And over the last year, since we started working together, she doubled her business. And now she's actually almost there to open her own studio space, which is really, really wonderful for her. And that's been the goal for her since she started working on her business. And over the last 6 months, she's really opened up to that being possible. And a lot of other things that happened for her. The other one is really creating a wonderful, awesome, beautiful business. And there's like so much happening there. I don't want to get into the details, but really, this is the mindset course so that you feel fully supported, because I don't want to give you the systems and structures and then leave you hanging in another area that I feel is just as essential. So that said, if you're ready to sign up for a call with me, then what you need to do is just go down below in the Hangout page, and you will see there that there is a button that just magically showed up, and you can actually sign up for a call there with me. And that will be available from now. You can go there and sign up for a call, and we will find out whether you're ready to do your first successful launch, to put it together and start bringing clients in, okay? So let me just do another quick take to see if someone asked a question. Okay, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to leave it here and send you all of my love. I know that there was that change in time, and I really apologized. I didn't realize that the content wasn't making it to you, and I talked the entire hour. I gave you pretty much the same content that I gave you now. However, I don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, and I know that this is the right thing. So with that said, yeah, all my love to you, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.